Hello everyone, Lid here. This video will be about how to progress through your endgame, aka mapping. So we'll talk about which node to go, how to travel along the node, and which atlas point to take, and etc. So let's start from the end of campaign. At the end of campaign, you will arrive at Secret Refuge, and here you can access to your map device, and when you click on map device, this is the endgame. Now first thing first is see on your top left, if you hover over here, you can click it. This is a bunch of icon, and this icon will tell you what icon inside the maps means. Like this one is delirium, this is this icon over here, and this icon over here means desert expeditions, and is also irradiated. That's mean the monster level +1, and so on and so forth. So if you're confused about what certain icon means, you can always look up on this information over here. When the node is blue like this means you haven't done the node. When you already complete the node, it will become green like this. And when you fail the node, now you no longer lose the node, you're only going to lose your waystone. And there's also an icon like this one above the node, and this means this node have an extra content inside the node. And for the extra content itself, there's a bunch of extra content like deliriums, rituals, breach, or corruptions, and many more. But we'll talk about the mechanic on the later sections. Also, when you're starting, there is a node like this. This is basically a hideout node. You will find one near your starting point. I already take it. The icon is already gone, but it looks like something like this. This is the hideout icon. And I would recommend go to this node first, complete it, so you can have access to your hideout. So after you complete it, you can click on your menu over here, click /hideout, and it will take you to your hideout. And in your hideout, there is a lot of things you can organize, and this is basically your base. You can move things around, and you can check things around over here. It's really up to you. There's a button over here. They will show you some menu. This is to edit stuff. If I want to move an NPC, I can move it like this. I can move it like this. So it's really up to you how you're going to organize your hideout. And you can also add some NPC over here. There's NPC, and there's also a bunch of decorations and all that stuff. Now, to access a node, you will need a waystone. It has a tier from 1 to 16. The higher the tier, it will be more difficult, but also more rewarding. Also, when you reach a higher tier, you will get penalty to elemental resistance. So pay attention to your elemental resistance as you go into higher tier maps. You can also transmute your waystone to make it magic, or alchemy to make it rare. It can has maximum 6 mods. The prefix will be reward mods, and the suffix will add more difficulty and also give you more chance to drop waystone. And you can complete the node by killing all the rare monster, and you can also see where the remaining rare monster once your monster count inside your node is below 200. You can see the skull icon in your minimaps. Another thing you can encounter is Lost Tower. To access this tower, you will also need waystone. I recommend using lower tier waystone because we just need to unlock the tower so we can put precursor in it. And the tower itself can be completed once you found the precursor beacon. This will allow you to put a precursor on the tower and use it. You can also transmute the precursor so to make it magic, and it will gain extra mods. And when you use it, it will empire the nodes around the tower with whatever mods on the precursor. And if your precursor, if a specific precursor, like say bridge precursor, it will add bridge to nodes around the tower. The addition itself is random, and you can see on the precursor how many nodes it will apply. So now let's talk about the extra mechanic. There's several extra mechanic like bridge, delirium, ritual, expedition, and map bosses. And one node can contain more than one mechanic. Let's say like this one, we have delirium, we have ritual, and we have corruptions. And as for this one, we have breach, ritual, and corruptions. In this video, we won't go too in-depth into each mechanic as they will require the video of their own. However, there is two mechanics that are very dangerous to do. And the first one is breach, the second one is rituals. Breach is this purple tower, and when you touch it, it will expand, and after a certain amount of time, it will closing back. And when it expands, it will spawn a lot of monsters. And this one is dangerous because there's a lot of monsters that are going to spawn right at you. And there is also a bunch of monsters that are going to spawn and coming toward. So you have to be able to handle that many monsters. As for rituals, this mechanic, you click the totem to start the encounter, and the monster will spawn, and you will be limited to a small arena. And the dangerous part about this mechanic is that small arena itself. With breach, you probably can run around, kite things around, but with rituals, you can only have so much space to navigate. Not to mention, the ritual also can spawn additional mechanic, like this one it spawn purple grounds that going to do damage over time to you. Sometimes it also can spawn a tornado that will going to chase after you. So ritual is very deadly. But both of this mechanic is also very rewarding. Let's say for breach, you can have a lot of monster, including rare monster, and rare monster give a lot of loot. It's also give catalysts and it's also give grid splinter. As for rituals, you can get omen for it, and omen is pretty expensive. And the next one we have expeditions. Expedition is also really good. You can sell the artifact and exotic coins, but the downside of expedition is you have to place the bomb and it takes time to do that. So the encounter is relatively slow, but at the very least you can control on how much difficulty you want to add to the encounter itself. And for Delirium, you will see this mirror inside the node. When you go through it, it will spawn Delifog, and this Delifog also have a timer. And as the Delifog start, it will spawn bunch of monster, but not as much as Breach. And you will also encounter this broken mirror along the way, and when you approach it, it will break and spawn some monster, and it will give you extra time. And when the Delirium is expired, you will be rewarded with Distal Emotions and Simulacrum Splinter. And the last one is my favorite, which is map bosses. And this mechanic will add map bosses inside your node. And this map bosses is the bosses that you encounter throughout the campaign. The boss itself can be quite dangerous, but it also gives decent amount of loot. For my recommendation, I would suggest go for the map bosses because it dropped a decent amount of loot, including waystone. And this is how I sustain all my waystone from tier 1 to where I am right now, tier 15. Other node that I like to go for is also Breach, because it gives a lot of monster, including rare monster. So basically in Path of Exile 2, most of the loot will come from rare monster or unique monster. And one tip for the node itself is you don't have to use a higher tier waystone to all the node. For example, there's one node over here, it doesn't have any mechanic above it. And let's say you want to get into this expedition or you want to get to the tower. For the waystone like this, you don't have to use your higher tier waystone. You can use low tier waystone here, go in, complete the node, and then you can have access to these two nodes, and then you can use the higher tier node. Let's say you want to do expeditions, and you can put the higher tier node here because higher tier waystone will give you more reward. Another tip is if you see an icon like this is map bosses, try to use the highest tier you can have, because if you can kill the map bosses, most of the time you will get a lot of waystone from map bosses. So this is a very good opportunity to have a higher tier waystone. So now let's talk about the Atlas tree. When the first starting, there will be a quest on your right screen. In my screen right now is already gone because I already finished it, but you will have a quest where you have to clear certain tier of map X many times. And the quest will go from like tier 1 to tier 15. And for each quest you finish, so let's say like the first quest is you have to clear 10 maps of tier 1, you will granted 2 Atlas points. So in total, you will have 30 Atlas points. As you can see over here, this is 30/30 because I already finished all the quests. And for the Atlas node itself, there's a bunch of options, but my recommendation is the first node you need to go into is the constant crossroad. This will increase the quantity of waystone you found inside the maps. And the next one, I would recommend to take these two nodes over here, and this will give your waystone 10% chance to become a tier higher, because we have two of them, this is 20%. And after that, what I recommend is going through here. This node over here is about rare monster. So this node and this node basically give you 20% increase rare monster in your maps, and the last one will duplicate one of your rare monster inside the maps. And the reason for this one, because most of my waystone and most of my loots, it coming from rare monster and unique monster, so you want as many rare monster as possible, and that will give you the best chance to actually sustain your waystone. And after this node, you will have an options. Me personally, I will go for this node over here. This is Study Evolutions. But there's also another node that I found pretty interesting is this one, Local Knowledge. This is basically just an extra loot you're going to have across your maps, and this can help you to gain currency to kind of fund all your progress. But I will go through over here. I will take bunch of this node and I will go to this node over here first. This will give me extra 20% to be a tier higher, and then I will go through this node to get the Deadly Evolutions. And this keystone will give you rare and unique monster 1 to 2 additional modifier. In Path of Exile, additional modifier meaning extra rarity and extra quantity, and that's basically mean extra loot. And now for the pathing itself, you don't have to path like this. If you are on SSF, you probably want to path through here, and this fortune path over here will make your waystone drop sometimes rare. It's kind of important because you will not have that many alchemy to begin with, and you can travel through here and take this node over here and then go for these Deadly Evolutions. And this is another pattern you can consider. But me personally, I will like to go from here, and I will take this node over here first. This node is not really that good, and the reason why I'm taking this first is because it's shorter path. And after I get my deadly evolutions, I will take this two node and I will unspec this node. This is basically what I'm doing with my node. And after this, what I do is I will take this node over here. This will give us extra quantity, extra rarity, and I will take this one. This will add extra monster inside the maps. And I like to go for this local knowledge over here, and this will give me basically like an extra currency based on the biome that you are. Now for the biome itself, I'm talking about this terrain over here. When your node is close to water, this is a water biome, and is it on the grass, this is grass biome. And if it's inside the forest, let me find one inside the forest. This is inside the forest, and this will be a forest biome. And this one I think is a swamp biome, and this one, like, this is a desert, and this node is a desert biome. So you will gain extra loot depending on which biome your map is located. And the next one I like to take is also precursor influence. This is just to get extra precursor. I don't think this node is necessary, but this can be some interesting one. The other node you can also look into is this node over here. This keystone will make your waystone prefix and suffix have 25% more effect. And this keystone will make your map more difficult, but it also will be more rewarding. So the decision is really up to you, because this is about risk and reward. The higher the risk and the higher the reward will be. And it's also depending on your build. Can your build handle it or not? And so this is basically all the Atlas tree, and above this there is a bossing tree. So for the bossing tree, you will gain 2 points every time you kill a map boss in at least T15. I done 2 of them, so I get 4 node over here. I haven't really explored this one, but it seems like it's pretty straightforward. This one give quantity, and this one give 25% chance to drop a waystone, and this one give rarity. So this 3 node is probably mandatory, and this 3 node over here doesn't seem to be too interesting. But if I have to add, it's probably essences, because essences is a rare monster too. So at the very least, this is a 1 extra rare monster. And the upper here is your map bosses are irradiated. This means the map bosses get +1 level. And for the left one, this is experience. I don't think this is too interesting. This one, the map bosses have corruption. So that's all the information I have for you today. There is still a bunch of content inside the maps. For example, there is this one over here. This is a copper citadel. There is a bunch of citadel that I have to visit, like the iron citadel, the copper citadel, the stone citadel, and there's also like the burning tower or something like that. I haven't explored all of that one yet. I assume that is the part of the Uber Pinnacle bosses, so I will make a video when I get there. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment below, and I will try my best to answer all the questions. So thank you everyone for watching. If you like the video, consider like and subscribe. That will help the channel a lot, and I will see you in the next one.